All right, all right, all right. Let's do this. So, a few weeks ago, I started doing live streams. The only reason for that is because I'm still obviously talking to myself for like an hour or so, hour plus. The reason I'm doing these live is because they can just be published automatically after I finish streaming, so I don't have to go through first recording the whole thing, then uploading it. It's quite a big difference. And if eventually this stream does get a viewer or two live, we can get some interaction going as well. So the first session I did was on Twitch, which, I don't know, it just didn't work out. Probably because I don't know too much about it. And then I figured, well, I do have followers on X, and I do have followers on, or subscribers on YouTube. So why start all over on Twitch? Which wasn't a question I was able to answer myself. So I don't know why I even bothered in the first place. Then last week I did a session. No, it was earlier this week, actually. It was on Wednesday. It was Wednesday evening. I tried a live session on X, which did okay. However, after like 45 minutes or so, there was an echo, so the sound was completely messed up. I have no idea why that happened because the audio was muted. So how I got to have an echo is beyond me. I'm just gonna go assume the mic is working right now, and I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Had a really, really good week on crypto this week. That's the beauty of crypto, right? Like, everybody thinks it's dead. It's always at the local bottom where people think it's dead. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, right? We keep forgetting that. People always forget that tops are supposed to make you feel bullish and bottoms are supposed to make you feel bearish. That doesn't mean everybody is bearish at the bottom or bullish at the top. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that most people, most of the time, will feel most bullish at the top. That is just psychology. So that is where your potential reward is best, is the biggest, but also the potential risk, obviously. In any case, a lot of people were extremely bearish 2 weeks ago around 109K. We put in a double bottom. We break through the neckline of the double bottom. You could see this as a double bottom. You could see this as an ascending triangle. This is only upward sloping ever so slightly, but it still is considered an ascending triangle. We get the break on the 1st of October, Wednesday. I get the close through it as well. I waited for a 4-hour close. That was this one. I think I said so last week. You can either trade, with daily closes on crypto, but officially, it's a 24/7 market, so they don't really have a daily close. I mean, on the record, they do, right? Because they have daily candles as well, obviously. But I use the 4-hour candles mostly on crypto because it's also really, really volatile. And if a breakout gets away from you on the day or during the day, the distance between the daily close and the low of day can be so big that you're just, the positioning is really hard. I mean, you can still position, but if you trade like I do and you use the low of day as your stop most of the time, then the distance is simply too large to wait for a daily close. So what I did was use a 4-hour close and then use the last full 4-hour candle within the pattern, which was this one here. I actually saw you can do this. That may be slightly better to see on screen. In any case, so we put the stop below this candle here. And, it hasn't looked back since. So this is a very, very good looking trade so far. As you can see, this is now not a low of day trade. The low of day is way below, is over 2% lower. And 2% isn't big. It's not really significant, but your sizing is way, way different, right? I mean, if you would have taken this trade with this target based on the daily candles, right, you would have a 2R trade, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I tend to go for 3R or more simply because my win rate is only about 35%. So in this case, what I did with the 4-hour close and the 4-hour candle within the pattern, look at the R. The R then turns into a 4R trade, which is double, right? So that's way different than trading the daily candles on crypto. In any case, I digress completely. The point is, this is a good looking trade, and we are headed to target. I am hoping we get some sort of follow through when futures open in about 45 minutes or so. Because this candle is looking, it's kind of bearish. This is a bearish looking candle. It's called a shooting star. It's called a headshot. Different traders use different terms, but it is generally a bearish, considered to be a bearish candle. Does that mean every single headshot doji shooting star candle leads to a reversal? Absolutely not. It does not mean that. But you have to you are still a market speculator, and you have to use the information at hand. So this is just something I'm watching. I would never close a position just because a shooting star formed. But the significance of a individual candlestick increases if it is within the right context. So let's say a shooting star, a bearish candlestick, the significance of it obviously increases at a top, right? Generally there is no triple top, but maybe this would be a first. If you get a random shooting star just in the middle of a move, right? Let's say this here would have been this one here would be a shooting star. That means absolutely nothing. But this, it's at the top. It's at a range high, so we could see a potential short-term pullback. Hopefully we do get one, because I am looking to add to this. Even if we get a pullback all the way back to the range high, to the top of the ascending triangle, it would still be a great moment to get into this trade, or even add to the trade if you're into trading or adding to pullbacks, because this move has been pretty aggressive pretty quickly. So there hasn't even been enough time for the moving averages to catch up here. Even the 10-day moving average is still just slightly below the top of the ascending triangle. So if we get a move all the way back, I would definitely be interested in adding. And if you're not in this trade right now, this would definitely be a good moment to get in. So last week was a really, really, really good week. Was a really good month as well. The month of September. Let me just go over a short I have put orders in this market to sell this market at the open tomorrow. And this is a really, really good example of why the context or the position of an individual candlestick matters, right? So we get a top here, huge swing high, right? It's clearly visible on the weekly as well. It's just a huge top, and it lasted for 40 weeks, right? So almost a year until we trade all the way back into it. What you see though is a rejection candle both on the weekly and on the daily, putting in a putting in a shooting star, and also a swing failure pattern. I mean, this is a prime example of a short I just have to take, right? I'm a really bad short seller. Most of my profits are made through long trades. My win rate on short selling is even lower than on long trades. But this is still one I'll just happily take. My stop is at the top of the candlestick, and I'm thinking this should probably trade back into the 50-day moving average, which is moving up here. So we'll see. I mean, you can make a case for both, right? This is obviously the bearish case, the bullish case, which I am considering as well. If we break through this level here, there is absolutely no reason for me not to be long this market. The bullish case for this chart is one you can easily make. Because this is a base, right? We get a potential bottoming base like so. This would be an out-of-bound move, but this is a base we've put in, and we break out of it, and we put in quite a significant move, right? We put in a move of, if we take the top of the candle, it's over 150%. So this could be turning into a potential new, well, I wouldn't say leader per se, but this could be performing really well over the next few weeks. Or so. So we'll just have to see and wait and see what price gives us, and just be open-minded to both directions, right? There's no reason to just be completely convinced this has to go down, and just be glued to that idea. A lot of people, especially people who are new to trading, will see people trade on X and see them flip-flopping, right? Well, I mean, they seem to be bullish, they seem to be bearish, and they seem to be changing their minds 100 times a day. That may seem like it is amateur hour, but that is actually one of the best things you can possess as a professional trader. Just have really strong opinions on where markets will probably go, but just be able to let them go at the blink of an eye, right? It doesn't matter. Your identity isn't ingrained into your idea of the market. So just be able, just let go. It doesn't matter. Went over this one last week. This has been trading really well. It's a new stock which I don't really like trading, but I just really love the huge move it put in. 64%, then trades into the 10 and 20-day moving averages, gets really tight, breaks out on Wednesday the 17th, which I missed. I actually missed this, but then I got into this trade on Thursday the 18th. You could say this is too late. I don't consider it to be too late. It isn't the perfect entry. The perfect entry, in my opinion, would have been the break out of this range over here. I don't know if you can see, but I mean, this range here, right? You get the highs, we get through the highs, and during the day, intraday, you should have traded this at market. But the second best time was at the break out of the full symmetrical triangle, the continuation pattern. So we're still in this. I sold half. I sold half on, let me check. Sold it 3 to 5 days later. So I think it was, I don't know. I cannot be bothered right now to check my iPad, but we're just letting the rest of the position run, using the 10-day moving average as the stop loss. Once it closes below the 10-day moving average, I will cover this position in full. 9626, still in this. Just a really nice pattern, huge bottoming pattern. I pre-positioned at the break of this continuation rectangle here. It is a continuation rectangle because we put in a 75% move, almost a 75% move. We get some consolidation forming here, then we break out of the structure. So I positioned, we get the retest, actually did not stop me out. My stop was at the low of day, very, very tight stop, as you can see, because I used a stop order to get in once we broke out of this rectangle. And then my stop was right below that day, which is a stop of 1.8% below entry. That's really, really tight, meaning you can position really, really aggressively. Obviously, the tighter your stop is going to be, the higher the odds of you being stopped out. Yeah, I already sold a part of this position as well, and letting the rest do its thing. Let me check real quick. Just a moment to say, if you're not following me on X yet, this is your time. This is your moment to do so. This is my username, so please feel free to give me a follow. 9696. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful trade so far. Let's see how this plays out. We get the consolidation, right? We get really, really tight price action into the 3 moving averages, the 10, 20, 50 day. They're all moving up. It's really tight. Volume is really, really low. And then we get a break at higher volume. The second day we get follow through on even higher volume. And the third day we get huge follow through on slightly less volume. But you know, it looks fantastic. So let's see what this does for the rest of the week, for the week ahead. But all in all, this is looking really, really good. 9880, covered this many times already. You know, I've been in this trade for a long time. I'm up, I think, 62% on this now. 56, sorry, my bad, 56%. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I took this trade on last week, on Tuesday. We get the move up, right? Big move up, consolidates, big move up, consolidates. The only thing I didn't like was there weren't really higher lows into the consolidation. We get equal lows, one slightly lower low, but I did like the fact that it was getting really, really tight over here, with volume, you know, really, really decreasing, and then 2 higher volume days with a really nice breakout. This isn't my highest conviction trade that is currently open, but yeah, usually what happens many times is your highest conviction trades tend to do worse than your lower conviction ones. ARQT covered parts of this position twice already, sold twice. Covered 2/3 in total. Actually, no, I covered 1/3, and then I covered 1/3 of the remaining position again, which I'm glad I did, because on Friday we got a pretty nasty reversal. But you know, we're not even close to the 10-day moving average. My stop is at break even, and we're just going to let the 10-day moving average do its thing on this one. This is a new position I have put on. Friday we got the break out of a huge bottoming pattern on the weekly. I mean, this isn't a classical chart pattern or bottoming pattern at all, right? You can't consider this a rectangle, a inverse head and shoulder, right? You cannot consider it any of those. But it's still pretty obvious that last week was significant. Because we have interacted with this level so many times, right? Over here, even got close to it even more times, traded at the level 3 weeks over here, but we haven't gotten a weekly close through that level, ever since it broke down below it and that was in January 2022. This is the first time we actually broke back through it and closed above. So to me, that's pretty significant. Even put in a move over 550% to get there. And again, some of you will say, well, dude, it has gone up 550%. Why would you trade this shit? Market cap isn't even 1 billion, right? This thing is nothing. It's tiny. It's not a micro cap or mini cap, but it's really small still. And this could go up. I mean, the RS rating, relative strength rating, is 98. ADR is 8.10. So this can be a really, really strong mover for the next few weeks. Obviously, it can reverse. It can trade back below. But you can't predict the future. You can only act accordingly to what you see on screen, what you see happen in real time. And, I don't think you should be ignoring this one. BMNR, this is one of my main focuses for the week ahead, BMNR and RKLB. I own both stocks already. I added BMNR at the break here on Thursday, the 2nd of October. Got a break here out of this little structure, these highs. But we are still within the confines of the consolidation pattern, right? So we're still not out of the woods. We can obviously trade into this top over here and then trade back down below, maybe even get some more tightening before we finally do break out, which would be my preference because it would mean I get to add more. So I would like to see a few more days of tightening up of this range and then add to the position and then see the final breakout to the upside. I mean, we can obviously trade to zero in a single day as well, but that's what stops are for. CRML, I am still in this, bought this at the exact break. Again, pretty ugly looking bearish shooting star candle. But yeah, I don't know. There was the volume was above average as well, quite a bit above actually. So big sellers stepping in. We'll have to wait and see. Haven't covered any of this position yet. My stop is at the low of this day. So even if I get stopped out, it's a scratch. This would be a really, really small loss. Obviously, the current open profits is, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. Giving it all back would suck. 11% up right now in this thing. So that's not nothing. But, never, ever consider your open or unrealized profits as actual profits. Never, ever do that. Euro Stoxx 50 still in this as well. Not much else to say about this. Just a beautiful, very clear rectangle. Traded this for the third time. Finally got the follow through I wanted because I traded this here at the breakout. And I traded this here prematurely at the breakout. And then the third time was the right one. Never, ever give up on not never, ever give up on a stock. I mean, always have a certain amount of times you're willing to give a specific trade a shot, right? I usually go for 2 or 3 times. 3 only if the pattern is really, really good with a high win rate and the pattern doesn't change too much. This only got stronger because we got higher lows into the breakout, which is just really, really good to see. So that meant I was very happy and eager to put on a third long position for this. I covered half of the position last week on Thursday, and we'll wait for the target to be hit hopefully next week. If this goes to target without any sort of significant pullback, I will be holding part of the position and see if we can get the 2x target, which is just the same as the first target, but you just extrapolate it to, like so. That would be the 2x target, and that would be an incredible trade to be in. Full C, fulcrum, still in this, got in at the break here, got really tight into the moving averages, got the breakout, wanted to add here, didn't do so in the end because I was way too exposed already. So I just kept the initial position on. I covered half of this already, and 10-day moving averages is catching up now, and we'll use the 10-day moving average as the to manage the rest of the position. MNT, this is a crypto coin. I've been in this for a while now because we had a really nice breakout out of this huge. Actually, I used a different chart. That's why this is all cleared up of drawings. The one from, I don't know, I think Coinbase or whatever, a different exchange shows more data. But there's a really big rectangle forming here. We got the breakout, and it's been one of the strongest performers. Really respecting the moving averages, especially the 20-day. So for now, I'm just keeping this one open, and I'm hoping, let me just jump to NMR real quick, hoping NMR is gonna go do the same. I mean, it looks really good, technically speaking, right? Which is the thing I consider to be the most important. But we get the really big move. I mean, over 200%, 217%. Then we get the pullback, get another huge run up, get another pullback, which is smaller in size. And then you can really see, price action getting tighter and tighter on top of the 10 and 20-day moving averages, the 50 days creeping up. It's getting really tight. Volume is on, it's zero. It's almost gone. Weekends, of course, will have lower volume anyway. But this is looking really good. I do want to see a break through the 17.58 area. But yes, buyers are starting to step in at higher and higher prices. So I'm hoping for a quick resolvement of this. Maybe we'll just have to wait for the 50-day moving average to come all the way back up, right? Which can take a few more days, maybe a week or so, and then finally get the breakout we're waiting for. New Amsterdam Pharma, I've been in this a while as well. Covered this in the last stream. Again, just a really nice rectangle, breaks out of it. We buy the retest. I actually bought the retest, which was the exact price of the top of the rectangle. Sorry, I'm just drawing stuff on chart. Got the 27.35 retest, and now we're just trading up, which is really nice. If you get a really big rectangle forming, which this is, January 2024, so that's a really long time, right? It's over a year and a half. You don't want to see too many significant pullbacks happening right at the breakout. Ideally, you see volume increase as well, which we do get. Get 2-3 pretty decent volume days. 2 were above average, so that's good. RKLB is the second stock. That's one of my main focuses for next week. Already positioned for this as well. I bought this at the breakout on Thursday. Out of the lows here, bought this intraday. Got some really nice follow through, really big volume candles, way above average. These really stand out. So hopefully this has some legs and keeps going. I do want to add to this position, but I don't see a good moment to do so right now. If we get a pullback into the pattern, I will probably look to cut half the position because I don't want to see that happening. I mean, it's tested this level 1, 2, 3 times, right? Fourth time it breaks out on above average volume. If this trades back below, we probably get some more sideways action, which again would be a good thing because then I'd probably reposition, with size that is higher than I currently have on, or bigger than I currently have on. So yeah, RKLB and BMNR are the biggest two on my list to watch for the week ahead. SATS, this is not doing much. I'm probably going to cut this, after which it can go up a gazillion %. But I like this because it was just gapping up. Sorry, this is pretty hard to say pretty quickly. Gapping up. Move was almost 500%, and then we get really tight action here, right on top of the 10-day moving average. Doesn't even go below the 10-day moving average, maybe here for like 2 whole seconds, right? So I bought this at the break out of these highs, which started to look good initially, but it's not doing much as of yet. So we'll have to wait and see for this. SMCI looking really good. Gets really tight on top of the moving averages. Get the breakout, which I long. I bought it right over here at the break out of these highs. And currently just consolidating. I really want to see some kind of aggression to at least the top we've tested several times already, which is around $62.50. UPB, this can be, you can make a bullish and a bearish case for this as well. The bearish case would be a head and shoulder top, right? This could easily be a head and shoulder top. What you want to see with head and shoulder patterns, it doesn't matter if they're head and shoulder tops, inverse head and shoulder bottoms, right? You got to see some symmetry between both shoulders, right? And the reason for that is if you screen for stocks or other markets, you almost always use some sort of filter, right? If you consider anything that looks even remotely like this head and shoulder bottom, right? There's no filter. You got to use some sort of filter. And symmetry is actually one of the best filters to use. Because just like with stock selection, people will tell you only trade the best stocks. Why not apply the same methodology to trading classical chart patterns? Just trade the most symmetrical, the most obvious patterns there are. Because if you start considering everything a head and shoulder pattern or a cup and handle, everything is just going to be, if everything or almost everything can be a potential head and shoulder bottom or a head and shoulder pattern, nothing is, right? That's kind of how it works. So if this would start trading down again, it would make these two shoulders pretty damn symmetrical to me. And this would actually be a potential head and shoulder top for this market. But right now I am long here because we get the 50-day moving up, catching up to the 10 and 20-day. All 3 moving averages are pointing upwards. We get tightness over here, and then we get the breakout, which was exactly 1 day after I bought this on Monday, the 29th. We're getting some consolidation now, so I really do want to see this continue upwards. Everything that's not acting right, you have to consider cutting it. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Cutting stuff quickly. I mean, the plus side is obviously you avoid really big losers. I cannot remember the last time I had a really big drawdown or big loser, sorry. I had a pretty big drawdown at the start of this year where stocks, absolutely shit themselves. I think the Nasdaq was down like 30% or so, right? Let me just check real quick just to make sure I'm not making a fool out of myself. The beginning of this year, February, we traded down 24%. So I took a pretty big hit on the stock portfolio here. Futures did okay, no problem there whatsoever, but stocks took a really big hit. So you avoid individual big losses, right? If you take a lot of small losses, you're obviously still going through a big drawdown. But individual big losses you avoid. The downside of cutting losers too quickly is a lot of them, or some of them, turn out to be really, really big winners, which you have cut prematurely. So it just depends, right? It depends what kind of person you are and what hurts you most. Me personally, I really like to avoid big losers because crawling back from big losers is really hard, and there is always the next big winner right around the corner, especially in bull markets, which we've had for the last 2 quarters, 3, sorry. There's always a next trade right around the corner. Dollar Canadian, not really interesting. I mean, this isn't really fun to talk about. Then we have gold. Gold has been probably my best trade this year, even though it took forever. I mean, it feels like forever. It's only August. Well, actually, it's only been 25 days. My God. Time just completely messes with your brain if you're involved in trading. Stuff just feels like eternity. But yeah, this has been a really good trade. I bought the breakout over here, used the same day low as my stop. So it's a 9R trade almost right now, which is in terms of R, it's obviously not the best trade I've put on. But just the not looking back, the fact that it's gold, for a futures market, this has been my best trade in terms of R, in terms of return. Stocks have been way better, but in futures trading, I think this has been the first actual breakout that has been following through consistently for a pretty long time. I actually started trending. So I took profit 3 times already, and I'm just seeing if we can get to this final target of around 4,055. XNet, same deal. Beautiful pattern, in my opinion. Beautiful chart. We get the move up. I got a few big moves, actually. Got the move up here, pullback, really big move up, pullback. These were too aggressive, these pullbacks. I would not consider these tradable. I wouldn't consider this any kind of consolidation. These are just pullbacks, right? But then let me just draw them. This is move up, obvious pullback, right? This isn't consolidation. We get a move up, then we get a pullback, right? This is not consolidation. This is consolidation. Then we get a really big move up, and then we get obvious consolidation. So this move here is way different than when we get here, than when we get here. So this is where you start watching this chart, where you start getting ready for a potential trade. Not only does it consolidates with higher lows. It consolidates respecting the 10-day moving average, and it respects, well, it doesn't even touch the 20-day moving average yet. All moving averages are pointing up, are trading up. So this is just a trade you take. I took this on the break intraday of Thursday the 25th. Took off a third of the position already, and just using the 10-day moving average now to trail the rest. So we'll see what this does. On my watch list for next week, I have quite a few names. So let me go over these ones first. These ones are the ones that are getting close to being actionable. What I like about AEVA is the fact that the moving averages are getting really, really tight. Price action is getting really tight as well. I do want to see, or ideally I prefer the moving averages to, see some more rounding and see them move upwards again. They don't have to, but it's just something my eye is just trained to look for those kind of trades sooner. So I'm not eager to pull the trigger on this quite yet, but this is on my watch list, high up on the watch list. Then we have Better. I mean, this thing, sometimes you just look at a chart and you're not sure if you're looking at some sort of shitcoin or a stock. But the ADR on this is 21%. That's pretty crazy, right? So that means the average daily range of, I believe, the last 20 days is on average 21%. So that's extremely, extremely volatile. Meaning if you use a tight stop loss, the chances of you being stopped out are pretty much guaranteed. So it's really, really hard to position for this. I mean, on Friday, we had what looked like a really nice breakout out of these highs over here. On higher volume as well, but then we get the Jesus Christ, the reversal, the pullback again. So what I'm doing right now is just waiting for these moving average to flat out just a little bit, hopefully see the 20-day moving average catch up as well, and then this tighten up a little bit more. With the biggest leaders, the most aggressive stocks with the highest momentum, they barely even touch the 10-day moving average. So this might as well go up, to 100 tomorrow. But again, I'm not eager to position for this right away. Lemonade looks really, really good as well. This was a really nice trade for me earlier last year. This started off putting in a really, really big bottoming rectangle, and then we got the breakout at the end of 2024. Took profits at target. I actually took full profit here, which I shouldn't have done, because what I just said, which you can see here, is we barely had any pullback, and a breakout that is this strong, this aggressive, this good. You don't wanna take full profits on the 1x target. You want to wait for a 2x at least, and we even had a really, really nice flag over here where you could have positioned either again or added to the position, which I should have done. So this was a profitable trade, but it was still a pretty big mistake on my part. I should have played this way better, and I could have gotten a lot more out of this. In any case, we trade all the way back up, then get the full reversal back to the almost on the tick, right on the cent. We get the pullback to the range high, and we start trading back up again. Right now it's consolidating. It's pretty wide still. It's pretty loose. I would want to see some tightening happening. But what I do like is the fact that we're seeing higher lows. We're seeing the 10 and 20 day getting really intertwined, and the 50-day moving average is moving up pretty aggressively as well. So it's probably going to catch up to the other two, and then hopefully we get some sort of tightening to form the rest of the right side of this base, and then potentially get a breakout out of what could be considered a cup and handle pattern with an upward sloping neckline, or whatever you want to call it. Then we have NKTR. Pretty good chart as well. Very, very strong. I mean, look at it, this thing, right? It goes up 364%. Then consolidates again, surfing the 10-day, surfing the 20-day moving average. And then we get the gap up over here. This would have been really hard to trade unless you actually traded this exact candle. What you could have done with the gap up is trade the opening range high on, for example, the 5-minute chart. I did not do so. You can catch them all. But right now it's looking really good. It's surfing the 10-day moving average, and it's getting really, really tight, really pushing up onto the 61 level, 6106. So if this breaks out, this tried to reverse during the day as well, but it got bought up. If this breaks out of this level tomorrow, then I will definitely buy this at market. This is high up on my list as well. Then we have NNE, Nano Nuclear, high RS rating, 98. Looks really good. It is an ascending triangle, that's for sure. But What I don't like about this is the lack of touches, during the middle of the pattern. What I usually prefer is, you get the top, you get the bottom, and then it reaches the top again to go back to the bottom and then go for the top again. It's pretty empty here. This is all air. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just something I happen to notice, that the best ascending triangles fill out all across the pattern. But regardless, this, again, high RS rating, ADR 7.77%. So there's no reason for me not to take this trade once it breaks out again. It's tried to on Wednesday, the 24th of September, and it tried to again on last Friday. So we'll just have to wait and see if it gets the chance to do so this week. And I'll definitely be a buyer. PHAT. This is beautiful as well, man. This is really, really good looking. I mean, look at how tight this thing is getting. All the moving averages are close to current market price. I mean, if this breaks out, I'm in there. I'm gonna be a part of it. Alerts are set with these patterns, with continuation patterns that are short in momentum stocks. I never ever set my alert to alert me at the day close, right? I will trade days close patterns when they're really, really big bottoming patterns, when they're big topping patterns, but I'm not trading at the day close. I'm trading these intraday always, because again, say you get an alert right at the day close and the thing closes like this, right? What are you going to do? You're going to buy this the day after here with a stop at the low of the day? I mean, it's impossible. That's a stop of like 15%, right? There's no way you're going to do that. RAPP, I have an alert set for this, but I'm not a big fan of this chart. I mean, it's trading up and it had a really big pullback, had a big move up as well, over 200%, but I don't know. Not a really, really big fan of this chart, but I'm still keeping an eye on it, see how it trades, see how it behaves. RMBS, looks the same. Again, every chart I'll show you right now under these market conditions will look about the same. TVTX, same story. You can trade it with a flat base, flat top, or a diagonal one. I prefer the flat ones if you see them, because there's no, there's this different. It's if you trade diagonal patterns, which I obviously do, especially with continuation patterns, continuation triangles, you always have to be aware of the fact that this can all be potential resistance, right? This can all be overhead supply. If you have a flat top and it breaks out, there are no highs that can form potential resistance. So technically speaking, horizontal boundaries, horizontal patterns are just work better. They work better. The thing is, though, that most continuation patterns are going to be, these ones are going to be diagonal ones. So it just depends. It depends on the context. So even when I say, horizontal boundaries, horizontal patterns are better, the nuance there, the context there is that it means that if you look at higher time frame classical chart patterns, the horizontal ones will have a higher success rate, especially the continuation or reversal rectangle patterns. They have the highest win rate. But specifically with momentum stocks, trading continuation patterns, they will almost always look like this. And they work really, really well, obviously, else we would not be trading them. This one is way bigger. This base can take way longer to form, but it's really starting to push up to the top of the pattern. So we'll see. But again, this is a perfect Jesus. This is a perfect example. If this would start to trade here and breaks out, you have this high to cover, you have this high to cover, you have this high to cover. Especially if they slope down really aggressive like this, right? Like this. If the diagonal pattern is like this, I would consider the highs minor highs, right? But the more downward sloping the line is, the more significant the previous highs are going to be, and are going to be price points where potential sellers start stepping in. Yeah, I'm going to call it a day for now, just to check if the recording was okay. I'm just going to try and see if I can publish this as well. And if everything is looking good, if everything is smooth, then I'm going to be doing this every Wednesday and every Sunday. Unless there's nobody watching this again, then I'm just going to call it quits. But it's good for me. It's, again, I've said this 1,000 times. It's really good to just go over the market and over the markets and talk out loud, because your ideas get formed way better that way. So yeah, guys, please give this a like if you happen to watch this. Follow me on X if you haven't done so already. If you have any chart requests, if you have any questions, just drop them below. I'm always happy to answer questions or look at specific charts. And I'm wishing you guys a really good trading week ahead. It is time to be a little bit careful, I think. We've seen a lot of leaders reverse. We've seen some leaders lose their 50-day moving averages. We've seen sentiment, get really bullish. A lot of these things, they can go on for a very long time. They can go on for months. And usually, not always, but if you're at the top or close to a top, people aren't as scared of this being a top as people currently are, right? When it's the actual top, I mean, the bullish sentiment is just insane. What you're seeing right now is a lot of professional traders making good money on X and thinking that is the rest of the world, right? But most people, I have not heard anybody talking stocks or even crypto while Bitcoin is at all-time highs, in the gym, at the airport, my in-laws. I just don't hear anybody talk about investing in stocks or crypto just yet. And even though that doesn't happen at every single bull market top ever, it is one of the best indicators to use. So I'm not seeing any of that right now. But yeah, it's always good to keep both outcomes in mind, keep both options in mind, and take a little bit of profit here and there into strength. So yeah, again, appreciate you guys watching, and I'm hoping to see you on Wednesday. Take care.